everyone. My name is Crystal Rogers. I just wrote a book called I Survived the Storm. It's about my once broken life and about toxic and alcoholic relationships. If God can bring me through it, He can you too. You can purchase the book on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Or if you do not order online, you can personal message me, Crystal Rogers, and I would be glad to send you a copy. It's $13. Y'all have a blessed day.
Hello, and welcome back. It's us, Brave Talk Show. We in full effect here. I am your host, Toni Nicole.
And I'm your host, Dani Nicole.
James J.T. Thompson in hosting.
All right, I know this is new, right? So, we're doing new things. This is a new season. We, cutting up, but we all family because that's what we do. So it's an honor for us to have JT on the show because JT's usually our producer. He's behind the scenes always coaching us and telling us, to take a break and this, that, and the third. So now, he's on the show with us kicking it, and we're going to be powwow and talking about a lot of great things. So, that's all good. It's all good up in here. So we got a lot in store for this show, and we're so glad to be on here with you guys. The next time, we're going to go live on social media so that we can hear from you guys, and you can tell us what's on your mind, and that we can go from there because we always want to know what you're thinking about. We always want to know how you feel because we do care about you guys so much. That's why we always try to bring you good content and a good show because we're all about love, right?
We love.
Let's go ahead and get into the show. So, Dani, what's been going on with you?
Child, let me tell you something. I'm so happy. First off, I want to say a happy belated birthday to the queen over here, Toni Nicole.
And happy belated birthday to you too, ma'am, the other queen that's on the screen.
Yes. Thank you. I have been blessed. Yes. And you have been. Yes, people. My pen is back, people. My pen is back. Okay. I am so excited for another year of life. 42. Coming through with 42. Let's see. Yeah. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty blessed. Thank you all for your birthday wishes on Facebook Live and everywhere else around the world. Thank you.
Yes,
thank you very much.
Thank you for your birthday love and wishes and everything like that. We greatly appreciate it because it made us feel great. So thank you. So JT, what's going on with you in your neck of the woods?
Everything is wonderful. I mean, I'm the only person on here with no makeup and facial hair, so it's a good day in the neighborhood. I mean, just glad to be alive. It's a blessing within itself, and an honor to be on this episode of Brave, and just to be able to kick it and have a voice in the platform. I mean, it's an amazing thing. We creating legacy, so man, let's keep this thing rolling.
I know that's right. So let me ask you something, JT. As a man, are you participating in No Shave November? Because a lot of men are doing the No Shave November.
Yeah, I'm just focusing in on make sure I keep it taped up. I mean, because I've been unshaven for a while. But yeah, I am actively participating because it's a great thing, to be able to do it and for a great cause, and you keep it going. And then it's supposed to be a little bit chilly this week, so it helps when you're going out and you facing. Yeah, so I'm with it. Yeah, let's go.
You don't need no scarf, huh? You just don't need a scarf. You got that's okay.
I got a full chin strap. You need no scarf. Good.
But to all the men that are watching, I have to commend you guys, especially the ones that participate in No Shave November. I think that's a great thing. because I read up about it. A lot of men are not shaving due to particular causes out here, which I think is great. You know, a lot of times we pick up and do sacrifices so that we can make noise and make something known. So, you know, I commend you guys. Also, let's see, Veterans Day. We celebrated Veterans Day, of course. So, you know, a big shout out to those vets out there from all the different military branches that you served. We salute you. Also, you know, a big salute to my grandfathers in heaven. You know, they both were in the Army, so they served in different wars and stuff like that. So, you know, we also want to send blessings up to that. Now, another big thing that has happened in November that we did not think.
Come on, let's get with it. Come on, let's get with it.
But it happened. And
come on.
Let's talk about our new president, y'all. Let's talk about our newly elected president,
Joe. Something you said.
And also historically, first ever, the first African American female vice president, Kamala Harris.
Let's get it, Kamala. Come on, let's get it.
Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations to them. What a tremendous election. This election goes down in history because Joe Biden actually became the first elected president to have the most votes ever.
Most votes ever. That was 74 million? 70 million?
I mean, it was, I mean, he had the most votes ever. So we have to really be like, wow, you know, it was time. It was time for this change. It was time for this shift. Now, we're all, you know, in different states, as you know. I mean, JT's in South Carolina, I'm in North Carolina, and Dani's in Georgia. So, Dani, you got to tell us how the impact is because Georgia flipped, guys. In case y'all not paying attention to CNN, how can you not pay attention? But Georgia flipped and went from red to blue. That state is normally a red state, and it flipped blue.
Look, for those who know me, okay, you know, red is my thing, okay? All right, but I could not have imagined seeing blue looking so good. Come, look, let me tell y'all something. I'm feeling good in my soul today that Georgia is a blue state.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, it's an amazing feeling. And my father, he's lived here for 20 plus years and has seen and it has endured, you know, the different things that have happened here in Georgia, being a red state for so long. And when I called him, I said, Dad, you know what? Georgia's a blue state now. I said, yeah. And he told me something, and I had to think about it for a second. He said, the reason why Georgia is a blue state is because of this new generation. Yeah. Georgia has become one of the most diverse states to live. And when you get that much diversity, there's bound to be a change. So my father said, thank you. He was talking about me because I'm coming from Chicago. Thank you for people like you that's come down here to make a difference. And I said, thank you. You're welcome. Big pat on my back coming on down here.
I think that's great. I mean, it is a monumentous moment, even for you making the move, because you made a move to a state that is, especially Atlanta area and surrounding areas, which is on the rise for many, many years, especially for African Americans, businesses and everything like that. So it's definitely a utopia, you know, for our people.
I will say one more thing. It, for as long as I've been here, it's been 2 years now. And to actually see the different things. You're just used to seeing, you know, the Republican sticker for whoever's being voted into office, whether it be Trump or Pence. That's heavy, especially where I live, very heavy. I would say Friday morning on the way to work, I actually saw a car that had Biden Harris. The first car that I saw in my area, that brought so much pride to me in such a way that it emboldened me. I mean, to see that in my area, because it's heavily Trump-Pence, but to see that in my area, that really like shifted everything. You know, change is possible. Come on, through prayer, change is possible. Come on.
Yeah, change is possible. And the, you know, the American people came through and answered when we kept pushing about voting and voting and voting and coming through. That was so important. You know, there was more people that registered to vote that hasn't registered before. We're looking at the demographics here. Even with the mail-in ballots, people did deliver. They did come through. And and we always say, and how we often say, voting is your voice.
Yes.
It's your voice. And it was spoken loud and clear. You know what I'm saying? From the numbers, it couldn't lie. Even with like Georgia and North Carolina being the last two states to get counted. And of course, you know, my state is always a red state. We for some reason won't turn away from being red. But you know, one day that could happen too. Anything, if Georgia can flip, North Carolina can flip, and even South Carolina can flip. It just all depends. You know, we just got to keep making noise for what's right. But it wasn't what people, I think, kind of missed out on the election. A lot of people were really, really focusing on getting 45 out. We understand that. They were ready for change. But what they tend to forget was there was other areas that needed attention on votes.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
We can't sleep on that.
Mm-mm.
If we want change to happen, even though the leadership of our country is changing, we have to look at the other areas as well, local and county, those offices, those people that are holding office. Because a lot of them are making decisions too based upon where we live.
Exactly.
You know, justice, reform, all of this kind of stuff that we need to look into. We have to pay attention to who is over it, who is behind it, what are they doing about it? Because if we are not going to stand, just like how we stood for this election for Biden and Trump, what are we going to do when it comes down to the mayors, you know, the senators, the governors, all of that?
And that's where real change happens, is in the local district.
Yeah, it doesn't just stop, you know, and see, that's what happens with us. We get so relaxed, like once a decision's being made, oh, we're going to sit back and kick our feet up because guess what? We did our job. We did what we supposed to do. No, you still got work to do.
The fight continues.
Yeah, we still have to be, as a people, we still got to do our part alongside of our leader.
Exactly.
Because if we don't, then what happens? JT, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, it's you know, it's something because when you think about states red and blue, and I mean, shout out to Custom Selects for the shirt because it's like I'm Team America, and it's the one thing that Joe Biden said that caught my attention. I'm not a red and a blue type thing. I'm everybody's president. I'm trying to reach everybody. We need that type healing, that type thing in our society, in our communities. The one thing that South Carolina can hang their hat on is that's where President Biden's the campaign switched in a South Carolina church upon a hymn and a prayer, and Representative Clyburn. It changed the narrative of the whole election, and it turned on the upside where Biden got his momentum. So that's one thing we can hang our hat on in South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? We didn't come through where it pertains to, you know, the voting and electoral college, but we came through there because we revived and breathed life through divine intervention in the Biden campaign, and it never looked back. So, you know, all three of the states that we represent play a vital role because North Carolina was closer than what it's ever been before. And that lets you know the momentum and the shift and that your vote does count. You know, I've had countless conversations of people not feeling like they vote counted, this, that, and the other. I would say, just look at what happened in this election. You had 150 plus million Americans vote, the most ever voted in election of all time, not just this decade. All time. There's never been an election that had that much participation. So you look at the narrative of it, and it's like we made something happen has a unit, has a culture, as a community. Whether you was a Republican, Democrat, Independent, we did something that has never been done before. And we have to continue to build off of that. Georgia still has work to do because you can change the House and the Senate in January with the runoffs. So you still have things to do in the state of Georgia that can finish the deal and allow President Biden to be able to do some things, because that's the one thing that happens. We get a president in, and then he can't do anything. They handcuff because they can't do anything with the House and the Senate. So we got to finish the fight. We got to curb Corona. We got to do some things. You know what I'm saying? If we want to, we want the elected officials to be able to do what they said they were going to do. We've got to vote on those other levels too in order to finish that deal and complete the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a good. Yeah, we definitely have to do that, because if we can't flip that house, then it's going to be even harder for Biden to do what he needs to do.
Yes, we have to step up and do our part. Continue. We cannot get lackadaisical. This is not the time. We want to see true change. I mean, the American people have spoken, and regardless. And this is one thing about what Biden said that really got me. It doesn't even matter who you voted for. You know, those who still voted for Trump, you know, I'm still your president. I'm still going to be your president. I'm going to show you exactly what we came here to do, you know, and really see real change and work together. And that's one thing that I really want to stress to anyone who still voted for Trump, regardless of who you are. We're all Americans. We're all Americans, and we got to come together to see real change. One thing that's on top of the agenda is putting a silent end to this pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's something that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the pandemic, so of course we're going into the second wave. We're coming up on the holiday season. A lot of states are already putting a 30-day lockdown. As far as like making sure people don't, you know, do traveling and so forth. And some states are doing better. Some states are actually getting the percentage down. They're actually doing their part, which is what we want to see. Some are still cautious, you know, and in order for us to really get, because this thing is not going to go away no time soon. We're probably going to go through it possibly another year if they can't get this together. Of course, Pfizer, the medical company, pharmaceutical company, is working on a vaccine. And that vaccine, they're still testing, and I think they're looking at it being a closer match to really helping, you know, getting it out the way. Of course, it has to be approved by the CDC, of course. You know, and making sure that everything goes good. And I think they are testing people still on the drug, you know. But we still got to continue to do our part, everybody. Make sure that you continue to wear your mask. There's still places that are mandating masks to go in and out of stores. North Carolina is still one of them. I don't know, is Georgia still doing it, or Dani?
Yes. I'm seeing some disparaging things when it comes down to their talks of shutting things down and coming back to a curfew. But I really don't know. I really can't say. They're just talking about it.
Yeah. What about South Carolina, JT?
Yeah, it's in our schools, because some of our kids have started going back 5 days learning, and see now they're having to go to Plan B and C's because the numbers are still rising, and we have to do what's best for especially our kids, our children, our future. And so it's the focus has got to be back on safety and being able to curb this thing. Thing I was thinking about when y'all were talking is, how open are y'all going to be to taking a vaccine? When the vaccine is available, how open are you going to be to do so? I mean, I was thinking, even when it comes, I don't know how open I'm going to be to taking it. And that's just being real, because there's so much out there about it. They're talking about it's got to be at a certain temperature, only certain people can take it at certain times. And so there's still so much that's unknown, you know, about that. that I have to look at it for what it really is. And I have to be realistic with, for myself and be like, what I want that for my family, is that going to really be beneficial at the end of the day? Because we still have 235,000 people that have lost their lives, what I'm saying, to the virus. And it's like, do we do it just on the strength of no more lives lost? Or is it going to be something that's going to be really helpful and not take us out? It's still so many questions out there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I, for one, I know I don't want to be a guinea pig for that. You know what I'm saying? I never want to be a guinea pig for anything. My biggest thing is caution just really needs to be taken in place. I know that there will be desperation, because usually when it comes down to testing, people, these companies will say, hey, we'll pay you this amount of money if you test this vaccine. And we are in a deficit in the country with the economy. We're still battling back and forth about another stimulus check, all that kind of stuff. Where our other countries, I have to speak on it, other countries are looking out more for their people than our own country. So I'm really praying that things can change with that. Because, Canada, I believe Canada or what other country is paying their people monthly $17. And $1,200 for the people in America.
That's not touching anything. That's not even making a dent. Let's be real about $1,200.
Yeah, even if it's a family for $2,500, you're not counting in daycare. You're not counting in groceries. You're not counting in rent. You're not counting in the utility. There are parents now that do not have jobs, and they're just on a wing and a prayer trying to survive off of a $600 weekly unemployment check.
Yeah.
And some people can't even get that, because we have to be cautious and can't go out here working like that. If you are working from home, it's a blessing. But if you are an entrepreneur and you're still able to keep your company afloat, that's a blessing. But still, it's going to take more things to happen in order to generate revenue. So we're in a crisis right now. We're definitely in a crisis, and we have to lean on God more. We have to activate our faith more. We have to be more self-sufficient and be more creative now. This year, I have to honestly say, it's been a preparation year.
Yes, it has.
This year has been a preparation year in so many ways, because we have to prepare to save. We have to prepare to be more healthy. We have to prepare to be more conscious, socially conscious, economically conscious, on all levels. We have to be prepared no matter what. We do. Anybody want to speak on that?
Okay, yeah. So most people would see this year to be a failure. And in so many ways, it has. It reared its ugly face in so many ways this year. But when you really think about it, this is the time to take advantage of things and opportunities, doors opening and opportunities being presented. Because when it's time for that, what you're working on to be revealed, you're going to be coming out the door swinging with both arms. The investments that you're making behind closed doors, the people that you're being introduced to. And yes, this is the age now that we're in, that everything is done on Zoom. Everything is done on the internet. Everything is done with the phone call or things of that nature, but still paying attention to the opportunities that are being presented to save and to invest and to make wise decisions when it comes to family, relationships, for that matter. I think this is the time of reflection as well. For most people who have not really had a chance to actually sit down and really look at themselves and see the things that need to be that need to be changed. But now people are put in positions where you can't really see nothing else but yourself. If that makes sense.
No,
So you have to face the music. I mean, a Michael Jackson song, "The Man in the Mirror," you know, really, really get to the core of being, and I think that's where the true richness is. Getting to the core and the root of who you are, and really making changes. You know, and especially in a time and day where you really cannot see nothing else but that.
mm-hmm.
You know, the things that you've swept up under the rug for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You really have to, you can't ignore it now because you're in your own living room. Keep working from home,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's like, well, I mean, you know, when you're in the hustle and bustle of life, you know, you grab your coffee, you grab your briefcase, and you get in your car, and you go to the office, bypassing the big surmounting hill that you have swept up under the rug, and now you are faced with it. I mean, if you all get my meaning. So yes, this has been the most rich. It's been the most awful time for America, but still, personally, it's been the most richest time to actually settle some things.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's been a lot of lessons. It's been a lot of lessons in there that you can turn in to change the narrative. And also, how obedient are we? You know, we talk about how we need to be obedient in faith, but how obedient are we to the things that we need to do in order to get through a pandemic, something that is in the flesh? And it's like it's still a lot of people that are still hard-headed to the fact of what they need to do and trying to be defiant of what they need, what needs to be done in order to get through. I mean, the one thing that we need to understand, if we don't wear the mask, if we don't social distancing, those are where the problems are going to come into, and that's where the problems are going to be. And I still see things that are troubling to me because there's still people that are defiant. There's still people that are like, hey, I'm not wearing the mask. And it bothers me when I hear people say, oh, I just had like a common cold. I didn't have no symptoms and this. Man, there are people that died from this stuff. You're not paying attention just because everybody didn't get hit with the virus the same. So it's like you can't be, you know, ignorant, you know what I'm saying, to the fact that there are people that actually went through stuff just because you didn't get it in the full effect. Don't discount the fact that it's real. The virus is real. The people. This thing happened for a reason. But I've heard these things, and it just bothers me in so many different ways because as the people, sometimes we're not mindful of the fact that they're real people, their families that were affected. There's some loved ones that are. I mean, people are traumatized. As America, we are traumatized by the fact that we dealt with something we've never dealt with before in our lives. And there's a grieving process that's going on nationally that people don't even realize we're going through, because look at how many of our family members, some are here, some are not. Some got a testimony that they can rewrite and re-talk about. But ultimately, think about it. This America, this year, and we go out of 2020, our family units won't be the same because somebody would have been affected in some way, shape, or form by this pandemic, and we can't be naive to that. I don't care who you vote for. It's real that this pandemic hit, and it hit like never before.
Yeah.
It was hitting so many people in so many ways. And I have to honestly say, this year, people took a loss, not even just by the coronavirus, but they took a loss on so many different levels. You know, it's like this year was really taking people away, it was taking things away, but it was having us to come closer. It's like 2020 was indeed the year of vision. I wouldn't say perfect vision, but it was the year of vision. The year to open up your eyes to see what's really important, to see what you're doing, to see what you're neglecting, what you're not sacrificing, what are you sacrificing. It definitely was a year of vision, because we had to see what we have been ignoring for so long. And now we have to pick ourselves back up, and we have to keep going. So absolutely, this year is the year of preparation, because we have to go into 2021 with a different mindset. And we have to go with an expectational spirit of knowing that, okay, well, I learned what was in 2020, so now I got to move forward going into 2021, 2022, 2023, it's like the next 5 years is going to be so vital based upon this year. People used to play around and say, oh, I ain't worried about what the next 5 years is going to show. I'm just going to go ahead and go through life. Now, you can't have that kind of mindset because tomorrow is not promised.
It's not. This year has definitely secured that. Tomorrow's not promised.
No, tomorrow's not promised. We have to plan ahead. And I'm going to be so real about this one I'm about to go into right now. So I hope that y'all are following out there, viewers, Bravites. Please listen to us carefully. If you got some people that's in your corner that you thought was supposed to be in your corner, cut that cord and let them go, because we are in the times where we ain't playing. We ain't got time to deal with foolishness. We ain't got time to deal with liars. We ain't got time to deal with people that want to spin us. We got just enough time for us to get it together. And where you're going, a lot of people can't go with you. Sometimes that's a solo trip.
Amen.
That's a solo trip. We cannot sit here another day, a moment of time, trying to figure out who broke our hearts, who did this or who did that. We gotta pick ourselves up and we gotta heal. We gotta heal.
That's real. That's real. I mean, a time of healing, a time of reflection, a time to analyze how to move forward, individually. What can you do, in order to, your preparation? Because we know that this time here, although it seemed like it's a long journey, it's a short term. We're preparing for something bigger and greater because God got something better, in store for us called eternal life. And if you are naive today, you want to get into you get to somebody that knows something about it so they can tell you and inform you about what it's about. And you get on board, because I can tell you this. We all have to meet that day, that time, and that hour. Where it's going to be time to be called home. And are you going to be ready when that time comes, to say, God, I did, and I done if your will is the best and possible as I can. And I submit all of this to you, to see if I'm qualified for eternal life. Did I do my part in being obedient and doing of your will while I was walking in the flesh? In order to get to eternal life. That's the question ultimately that we all have to get to. So it's real. It's real on a whole nother level. It's the one thing that, I look at and I'll be like, you know what? People on the other end, we can't get caught up on how people left up out of here, because you know what? They had the opportunity to get at something that we all trying to attain. If you're in the right frame of mind and spirit, you're trying to get to that eternal life and be with Jesus forever in eternity.
Amen. That's right. Dani, you want to piggyback on that?
I just want to say, just from what the both of you have said, that another thing that will stagnate you is holding on to grudges, holding on to what was said to you even when you were a child, holding on to things that were done to you, and you're looking for an apology. You may never ever get that apology, not ever. We don't have time to waste waiting for people to catch up to where we are. You need to start forgiving and forgetting, because it's not. And when people say, oh, well, if you forgive them, then you're giving them access to to just keep doing the things that they're doing. No, you're forgiving for yourself. Yeah, you're forgiving others. Yeah, you're forgiving others to release yourself, to regain power back to you, to regain back that power to live. Yeah, when you're holding grudges based on what was done years ago, or whenever it happened, you're keeping yourself stagnated in time. You're keeping yourself, it's like you're pushing the pause button on your potential. We don't have time for that. Nope. We don't have time to sit there and be stagnated. No. So press play. Okay. Forgive those people who have hurt you. And then even for your loved ones. If this year has not showed us anything, is that we really don't have time to hold grudges, because we don't really know when when our time is up. You could be sitting in the line at the grocery store with your mask on. For some reason, you pull it down, and then you just contract the virus. And then now, you might be susceptible to something even greater if you have a pre-existing condition. You just never know when your time is, even past this year, before this year. You just never know when your time is up. So you don't have time to sit there and hold grudges at all. Hit play and live. Hit play and live.
That's good. It's good.
Solid.
That's what we need to do. So, we say these things out of love, Bravites, because we do love to have fun. We do love to joke and stuff like that, but we do have a serious moment because it's out of love for what we have for our people. We got to let you know where we're coming from, because we're coming from in here. And we also coming from experience too. So whatever we telling you is not something that we just made up. No, we go through this, something that we go through. But looks like we're rolling up on that time, of course. And we always have a good time together talking and so forth, and time just get away from us, just like that song by Jada Jackson, Funny How Time Flies When You're Having Fun. So that's just how we do. But of course,
indeed.
Yeah, so before we leave, of course, we have to have our motivational word of the day, that we have to leave with you guys. So I'm going to go last, but Dani, you go first.
Okay. I mean, I pretty much said it, just hit play and live, and take advantage of the opportunities that are before you. It's not, I mean, people take a blind eye to a lot of things, and then they start to ask God, well, God, where are my opportunities? And he's already been presenting them to you this whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
You just have not actually taken advantage of the time that has been given to you to actually take a look at that. Hit play and live, honey. Hit play and live. Look. Hit play and live. Okay.
Hi, JT. What's yours?
I'm just going to drop a little jewel on you. A lot of people are focused on how COVID came in and just swept up things. But if you don't believe in divine intervention, take a look and think about this. Due to COVID, mail-in voting, we got options that we never had before. If you think that the trouble lasts always, but you look at how everything came into place and it gave us multiple ways to vote and people showed up and showed out. COVID was bad, but it also created an avenue to right the wrongs that have happened and people showed up and the voice was heard. So we can't always get caught up in the bad things, because out of every bad thing that happens, there are a multitude of good things that come out of it. You just got to draw the positives out of it. So keep your faith strong and keep hope alive, and knowing that better days are here, and we're going to jump right into them.
Jump right in. Jump right in.
Yeah. All right. So the last thing that I'm going to say is break out of your own personal prison. Break out of your own personal prison. You were that stick.
I'm not telling one. You telling the truth right now.
And the reason being is because we are our own inmates. We are. We hold ourselves behind a spirit. We hold ourselves behind a hurtful past, and we think that there are bars. The bars are depression, they're lack, they're everything that is trying to stop you and destroy you. You have the power to break out of that cell that you've been keeping yourself in for so long. So that prison that you've been keeping yourself in, break out of it.
Break out of it.
You don't need a pardon. You are the person to give yourself that pardon.
Look, I'm about to throw this thing at you.
Real talk. I mean,
Hallelujah.
I'm just saying, we are all the time pushing ourselves up against a wall, and we're pounding, trying to find a way out. That's like in a prison cell. inmates are trying to figure out how they can release and get out. They're trying to write to the governor to see if they can get a pardon. They're trying to do this, that, and the third. But you have that opportunity to do it yourself. And there's multiple ways in which you can go about doing it. You can, for one, and by all means, whoever's watching this, I don't know what your spiritual walk is, but you have an outlet. You know, whether it's God, Allah, whoever, you know, that you are spending time in your spiritual closet too. That's one way of releasing. Another way is get help. If you know that there are some mental things going on with you, that you can be a prisoner in your mind. Get the help that you need. Talk to someone.
Mm-hmm.
But break free. Break those chains. Break out of that prison that you are putting yourself in. And a lot of people, I was there over the summer. I'm just going to put myself on Front Street. I was in a personal prison. I had suffered loss. I was putting myself where I was like, did not want to do anything. I was closed in. I had to break out of it. Because if I didn't, I was going to be robbed of everything. You have no idea, for those that are watching, you have no idea that you can sign your own death warrant before your time is up on this earth. Don't do it. Don't do it. Make sure that, like Dani said, you know, press play and what? Live.
And live.
Press play and live. That's what you got to do. It's not too late. This COVID-19, people think that, I got to stop living now because I'm on timeout. You was on timeout at the very beginning because we didn't know what was going on. Okay? Yeah. You was on timeout at the very beginning. Everybody was on the timeout. Paris, all of them was on the timeout. Confined to their homes, yes. But now you can breathe a little bit. You can live a little bit, but you got to be responsible about it. You got to be responsible about it. But that's it for today, guys. Until next time, thank you so much for viewing in with us. JT, as always, thank you. Because, you know, we gotta have you back on as our third host. Because I tell you, this was amazing right here.
Great.
Awesome. So, you know, until next time, Brave Lights, take care. Peace out.
Peace.